Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into something that's on a lot of our minds: how to unlock that genuine, unshakable inner confidence. And let me tell you, it's not about being the loudest person in the room. It's about really, truly understanding yourself. So let's get into it. So let's start with this. Just take a second and think. What does being confident actually look like for you? Is it finally starting that side project you've been dreaming about? Or maybe it's just feeling comfortable speaking your mind. Whatever it is for you, that feeling is totally within reach. And believe it or not, the journey starts by looking inward. All right, here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to figure out what true confidence even is. Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of self-analysis. After that, we'll talk about the most crucial part, self-acceptance. Then, we'll see how to turn all that insight into real action. And we'll wrap up by figuring out the very first step you can take, like today. Okay, let's jump into section 1. What is true confidence? You know, a lot of people think it's about being tough or arrogant, this kind of cold-blooded vibe. But the real deal? It's something way deeper and honestly way more powerful than that. So, true confidence really boils down to this idea of inner harmony. See, it's not about puffing your chest out for everyone else. It's about cultivating a quiet, solid belief in yourself. It's knowing your worth without needing a megaphone, and just trusting that you've got what it takes to handle whatever comes your way. And that idea of inner harmony, well, that leads us perfectly into our second section, holding up a mirror to yourself through self-analysis. This, right here, is where the real work and the real magic begins. Because you can't build confidence if you don't know what you're working with, right? So why bother looking inward? Well, think of self-analysis as creating your own personal instruction manual. It helps you figure out what makes you tick, what you're naturally awesome at, and yeah, what areas could use a little work. It's all about making sure the life you're living actually lines up with who you really are. The best way to kick off this whole process? It's pretty simple, actually. It starts with asking yourself a few really important questions. And hey, the goal here isn't to have perfect answers right away. It's about being honest with yourself and just seeing what comes up. These are the questions that really get to the heart of it. What have you done that made you feel genuinely proud? When do you feel like you're totally in the zone? And on the flip side, what are your weaknesses? What are those nagging fears or doubts? Remember, this isn't about judging yourself. You're just being a detective, gathering clues about who you are. So how do you actually find the answers to those questions? Well, here are 4 really practical ways. Journaling is huge, just getting your thoughts out on paper. You could also try some of those personality tests. They can give you a cool framework. Asking people you trust for honest feedback? That's a brave move, but it can show you things you'd never see on your own. And finally, just taking time to reflect on your wins and losses to see what you can learn. Okay, so you've done some digging. You have a clearer picture of your strengths, your weaknesses, everything. Now what? This brings us to what is, without a doubt, the foundation of all confidence: self-acceptance. This quote just nails it. You can't build a strong, confident version of yourself on a shaky foundation of self-criticism. But let's be super clear. Accepting yourself doesn't mean you stop trying to improve. It just means you start from a place of, okay, this is me right now, all of it, and that is perfectly okay. That's the starting line for any real growth. The key thing to remember is that self-acceptance is an action. It's something you practice. It's about respecting yourself, forgiving yourself for past screw-ups, and taking care of your own needs. Honestly, it's about treating yourself with the same kindness you'd give to your best friend. So once you understand and start to accept yourself, that's when you can really begin to build. This is the fun part, where we move from just knowing things to actually doing things. We use that self-awareness to set goals that will build your confidence one step at a time. Think of it like this. Your self-analysis gives you the map, but a clear goal gives you the destination. Without a destination, you're just kind of wandering around. A goal gives you focus, it gives you direction, and man, does it give you motivation. But here's the thing, not all goals are created equal. You want to set SMART goals. This little acronym is a game changer because it turns a fuzzy wish into an actual concrete plan. It makes you get really clear on what you're doing, why you're doing it, and when you'll get it done. I mean, look at this example. I want to be successful. That feels nice, but what on earth does it mean? You can't act on that. But I want to get a promotion within a year? Boom. Now you have something you can break down into smaller steps, you can track your progress, and every small win you get along the way, That's a direct deposit into your confidence bank account.
Whew, we have covered a ton of ground, from what confidence is, to how to analyze yourself, to setting smart goals. But all the knowledge in the world doesn't mean a thing without action. So let's bring this all home. Let's talk about your first step today.
And if you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. Confidence is not a destination. It's a practice. It's a muscle. You don't go to the gym once and expect to be ripped, right? It's the same thing here. It's the small, consistent actions that build you up over time. That's how you get stronger. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Don't worry about changing your whole life overnight. Just based on what we talked about, what is one tiny, totally manageable step you can take today to start this journey? Maybe it's just writing down one thing you're proud of, or maybe it's setting one tiny goal. What's it going to be?